This is the interview for Innocence?
This is behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I guess we're gonna be talking and make sure to look at camera.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, because they are the viewer.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we should begin with the idea. I had first had the idea. Woke up one morning. It was actually the morning we were going to discuss ideas.
Yeah. Well, the second time we're gonna be discussing ideas.
So I woke up. I just had the idea. I don't think it was a dream. It was just right when I woke up. Pitched it to Sean, and we went from there. We did this all in one day too.
Yes,
all in one day.
we cranked it out all in one day. A lot of help from family and friends, which was immensely instrumental in everything that we did, because without their help we probably wouldn't have been able to do not only all this in one day, but the amount that was needed, because we were doing a lot of moving lights and a lot of blocking, and mainly cleaning up the house to make it look how we wanted it for each shot. So
the first thing I did when Sean sent me the clip was I watched it 50 times. Literally in a row. Just watched it again and again. And I decided what speed each scene was, what tempo each scene was. Each scene has a tempo that can be detected if you watch enough times. And from there, I can build a tempo track and figure out how fast does the music need to be in each scene. Once that's done, I can actually start creating. I think the most interesting thing that I found I could incorporate into this project was that I was able to use a leitmotif, which is a recurring musical phrase. And it recurs, but in different colors and different moods. And I was extremely excited to find that it fit this project quite well. I became extremely excited about doing this project because I had been asked in the past to do other projects by other people, and they didn't quite materialize, if you will. And I've always wanted to do something that everyone on the team had a lot of drive, and let's get this done. And because I have a lot of drive, when I'm on something, I want it done. So I was extremely excited to know that this will go forward, this will see the light of day, and it will happen.
Hardest prop was the hasp, because we kept losing the little screw heads.
Yeah, so we actually took the hasp and then took a hacksaw and cut each bolt head off and stuck it in there, so when it would be broken off, they would fall out to make it look like it was completely destroyed. That shot actually isn't in the final cut, but it turned out really cool. We did have some other props. We had the airsoft gun painted tip black to make it look like it was a real gun.
We had real lockpicks.
We had real lockpicks. Those were actually real legit lockpicks that we cannot disclose how we came across them, but they are real, and we were able to unlock several doors in the house with them. One of the also other beneficial things that we did was a homemade dolly slash kind of rolling slider. Really was instrumental for getting a couple of the movement shots that we had envisioned during the idea and scripting phase. We envisioned these nice kind of elegant slides, but wasn't sure how to do that on a really tight budget. Ended up coming up with a pretty unique system. Still has a couple flaws that aren't too bad to fix, but it turned out really good. Was really great to have that as an extra feature to utilize, another tool to utilize in the film. Really got us like the coming out from behind the couch and when they're going up the stairs, those two shots, it really helped and made it just look a lot more elegant. Other than that, the other tools that we used were a Sockler tripod, and we used we ended up using an old Bogan tripod. That thing was a beast. We had to get a really nice high up shot. We used the Canon EOS C100 for filming with a 24-105 f4 lens, and then of course we used the RØDE NTG2 mic for all of our sound, nat sound and recorded dialogue, which there's only really one scene with dialogue. So I think when we originally started scripting this, we saw the foreseen or unforeseen kidnapper and slash dad, like the older man who's with the child throughout the film. That one was a hard role. We really didn't know how we were going to fill that one, and that one ended up being my dad, who filled that role.
Did a really good job.
He did it. He did. Sure. He filled the role pretty good, and the man with the gun who breaks into the house, that's actually my older brother, and it's hilarious because my daughter and him they aren't super friendly with each other. Mainly my daughter is terrified of him, and so we had to let her continuously squirt him with a squirt gun for her to warm up to him enough to be held by him, to want to be comfortable like running to him and like all this other stuff. So it was one of those things on set that you just had to do. I mean, at that point she was also walking around squirting everyone with the squirt gun. So but it was really funny, and it ended up saving the film, the relationship that they were able to develop. But there was one key scene where
Who am I?
The girl, who's actually my daughter, is supposed to say "daddy," and we have like a 4-minute clip of her just over and over and over again saying "daddy," really goofily.
Can you say it more happy? Can you say "daddy"? Daddy.
Yeah, daddy.
She's puffing her cheeks and she's growling and all this other stuff. So
Can you yell "daddy"?
she's a ham, and she was very much wanting to goof around and everything. So we had to reshoot that one, and after watching the completed video for the fourth cut, saw how we could transition out of that shot, make it look more natural, and so that's kind of what we went with. So we had a really it doesn't look as intense fight scene, but they're actually
they were going hard.
They were going at it pretty good, and there was a couple of times where my dad's face did go into the doorpost pretty hardcore. So the shot that we were supposed to end the film with, where the dad opens the door, the actual dad opens the door, and there's like extra like all these kids and other kidnapped kids in this room. But because we had to cut that scene, change it up, we ended up not doing a couple transition shots of what we needed. And
so to set up the scene, so we couldn't really set it up, and
so that way, that's one major one that that'd be great to go back and redo. All the other shots pretty much came together really good. Didn't have, a couple of the movements I felt were a little rocky on my part, but that's just my over critiquing. But I think overall it was really good for being done in a pretty much 6-7 hour time period. So it cut together pretty good.